Welcome to Weather to Watch. This show is dedicated to taking a look at weather not just in the next couple of days, but for the next 2 weeks, and it's weather worthy of watching. Let's start with today. The visible satellite loop is still a pretty calm weather pattern across the U.S. Certainly the Central Plains enjoying very pristine conditions with a huge upper level low here. Some offshore rain in the southeast, and a little bit of an unstable pattern up here in Idaho, parts of Montana. We'll take a closer look at that in just a minute. There is a rather steep, sharp trough moving through the Great Lakes states. That's the reason for the swirl and the curl that you saw in the clouds. Meanwhile, big old ridge is developing on the lee side of the Rockies. And we have another very potent little shortwave, as we call them, little disturbance in the upper atmosphere, kind of slamming into Washington and Oregon, and also Idaho, parts of Montana, and that's having an effect on weather up there, certainly. For Wednesday afternoon, we have a weaker front moving through the Central Plains on average, about right there. A little cooler behind that, but not as cold as the last couple of fronts. Still looking at a washed out front in Florida, and we have a system moving in with that upper level disturbance, cold front, a couple of troughs of low pressure moving into the northwestern U.S. Now, as far as rain and precipitation goes today, there are scattered showers and a couple of thunderstorms out in this area here. We have scattered showers and some severe weather here. I'll show you that in a minute. This is snow, of course, in the higher elevations of Idaho and Montana and Washington, and still a little bit of scattered shower and thunderstorm activity in Florida. Now, there are severe storms possible today. In this area right here from Montana, stretching down the Salt Lake City, there is currently a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for those areas of Montana that I just showed you, Idaho Falls, Helena, basically western Wyoming, and the northern half of Utah, including Salt Lake City. As far as precipitation amounts, QPF as we call it, it's going to be the heaviest up in Seattle and Portland and Oregon, and some pretty good showers there in upper New York State, parts of New England, maybe around Jacksonville too. That's for part A of today, and then later on tonight toward tomorrow morning, we get another little band of rain moving through with that front, and of course the cumulative thunderstorm and snow effects there in the northwest. Now, looking at the next week or so on average, this ridge of high pressure at the 500 millibar levels, and again, this is an average of 7 days, starts this last Monday and goes through Sunday. The trough in the east is still there, but getting its way out pretty quick. And notice it's getting a little troughier out in the west. That will have impacts on severe weather and other things coming on, not this week, but next week. As far as temperatures are concerned, where the ridging takes place, it's always above normal, and you certainly see that there through much of the Central Plains and into the Rockies. A little cool still in the Great Lakes and New England. Precipitation is not just knocking my socks off. We just can't get the Gulf moisture to return quite yet. It will slowly do that, but on average, the precipitation rates are very low where you see the brown here. Maybe a little bit of good rain in New England and in those areas of the northwestern U.S. Let's look now at how that manifests itself day by day. Thursday, we have a weather system, a warm front, cold front connection there over Kansas. The cold front extends up to around Fargo, occluded after that. Still kind of cool in the northeast with the green colors, basically 50-degree temperatures, and pretty hot in Kansas and down to Texas with readings in the 80s and 90s there. Precipitation-wise, this system will produce widespread scattered showers and thunderstorms in this area here. More solid rain in northern Montana, snows in the mountains of the northwest. Once again, scattered showers and storms in New England, southern Florida too. And there is a little bit of a severe possibility there in Kansas on Thursday, north of that warm front and ahead of that cold front. Here's a closer look at it city by city. So the level 2 out of 5 is located square in the heart of Kansas. So Hays, Salina, Manhattan, Topeka, Wichita, Emporia, all those towns in that level 2, and a large area of level 1 marginal risk through the northern 3/4 of Missouri, all the way over into Illinois and down into the dry line as well. On precipitation, the first half of Thursday, most of the rain that will amount to anything will be in New England and New York State. And then for the second half of Thursday, we'll get some of those thunderstorms breaking out north of that warm front, some precipitation in Wisconsin, and again, still raining in parts of New England. Finally, on Friday, this front stalls, really. It doesn't really do much at all as the jet stream starts to change more out of this direction, not really encouraging the front to move anywhere that way anymore. This next cool front won't have a chance of penetrating the U.S. very far, again, because of these jet stream changes. So we can see it stalls out there. Scattered rain and thunderstorms in all this area Friday. Now, when I say Friday, keep in mind this means Friday and Friday night into Saturday morning about 7 a.m. Central. Just keep that in mind. Still organized rain and snows in the northwest. There is on Friday a severe weather risk continuing along the cold front, as you can see there. And if we zoom in on that, we've got pretty good severe weather chances, Manhattan, Topeka, Kansas City, St. Joe, up into southern Iowa. So a lot of those areas getting 2 days of possible severe thunderstorms. It looks like mostly hail and gusty winds with both of those readings for Thursday and Friday, but a tornado can't be ruled out if we can get one of those thunderstorms that forms in these areas to get more rooted in the surface, so we can tap into those low-level circulations. The next 3 days of rainfall, and while we're on the subject of the next 3 days, the most organized rain will be in New England for sure, where we have 1 to 2 inch totals forecast there. And here in the Midwest, north of that warm front, it looks pretty good here too, with 1/2 inch to 1 inch totals, and in the Pacific Northwest as well. Now, let's go down the road next 3 days after that. So heavy rain is forecast for Sunday, generally speaking, from parts of the Dakotas straight through Minnesota and into northwest Wisconsin. And that's on Monday and Tuesday. We have a progressive system that will bring a heavy rain threat, as you see there, moving southeast between the 2 days. Going back to Saturday, we got severe storms continuing. It's a 5-day forecast of severe weather. So Saturday, combination of dry line and a stalled quasi-stationary kind of warm front situation there. And then if we go ahead to Sunday and Monday, this is Sundays right here, and then Mondays is pretty expansive the way it looks now. In that same time frame, 3 to 7 days, we've got a frost and freeze possibility up in the Dakotas, and mostly North Dakota. And look at the low temperatures forecast by the Weather Service up there, down around freezing in many of the parts of those two areas where the advisory is in effect. And it's going to get a little hot in the areas around Ohio and Pennsylvania, parts of West Virginia, Monday and Tuesday. Look at the National Weather Service highs there. That's a 97-degree high temperature forecast for Pittsburgh, just to give you an example. And far Texas, too, has a little bit of a heat issue coming up Sunday through Tuesday. Well, now looking 2 weeks out, this is starting next Monday and going through the next 7 days after that. The ridge definitely shifts east. We have more of a troughing pattern in the west. That's going to encourage rain and thunderstorms to come back to this area. The hot temperatures at the surface follow the ridge, and they do so very precisely, moving out through the Tennessee and Ohio River valleys out into Virginia. And then the precipitation rates begin to respond to that changing jet stream from Texas up into the Great Lakes, a very common pattern. And when you start looking at how the jet stream changes like that, it still will be a little hot around the 21st in the parts of the Carolinas and Virginia, and also in the interior valley of California around the 21st and the 22nd, a slight risk of extreme heat there. And then finally, we'll look at the severe storm forecast for the 20th through the 26th. This is a composite of the percentage chance of a supercell, which are the main severe weather producers, over all this 7-day period. And it stretches really from the Dakotas and Montana straight down to Texas. But the highest probability is Front Range, Colorado, Oklahoma, down to Texas. Thanks for watching this edition of Weather to Watch. It comes out every other day, or as the weather necessitates. Please remember to share this with your friends, subscribe to the channel, or at the very least, like what you just watched. Thanks.